What's your professional take on the skinny jeans? Are they gone for good, or are they? It's just more of a, like, now it's like everybody wears whatever.
Well, personally, it's going to depend on when you shop at for a pair of skinny jeans. Now, if you're shopping at Uniqlo for skinny jeans, I'm not expecting you to come out of there with a crazy pair of skinny jeans. But if you go to the right person and you ask for a tailored slim fit, you'll walk out with an exceptional pair of jeans. And right now, we're in the times where no one's really like detail oriented about where they shop.
Yeah.
They just see something and they think, okay, I'm pretty sure that's going to be it because they said it was going to be it. The skinny jean, man, you don't go inside of that room unless you're in that fit position. Now, as a tailor, I take my body into a deep consideration every time I step out the house. Like, I'm not just gonna be frivolously buying slim tapered jeans and I have a muffin top and I'm just like, my whole everything is rolling over.
So
it's gonna
people
be bad,
don't. So
man.
people don't care, man.
They don't care. They're frivolous with it because they're not shopping for themselves.
They shop for the next person.
Yeah, they're shopping for the person that looks at them and they think they're gonna get that response that they need or hope for or so on. But that's just kind of asking for destruction.
I have a question here. Actually, I was thinking about this. It's something I deal with as well as an artist. Is let's just think about a musician, right? Do you think should a musician be conscious of who his audience is, and then make music for that audience?
Personally, yes. Why? Because the designers are doing it too, man.
Well, that's what I was
And
going
we
to
are
go into that afterward.
we are we carry the same. We're all in the same realm.
But you're saying you dress. I mean, you just don't even think about it no more. But are you
Yeah.
still? You're dressing because that's what you like to do.
Yeah, but the thing about me as well, I created my lane situation. Like, I created the entirety of it. Like, I didn't say, oh, one day, maybe such and such will accept me. I'm like, no, this is what you like, trust me. And then boom, I gave him the content to match it. I gave him the aesthetics to match it. And then I gave him the work ethic to match it. So I never lead it with like, I never became like the Wizard of Oz and there's actually nothing back there. It's like when you come see me, it's something back there. It's a bunch of machines and I'm creating every single piece that you see me in. So, I'm gaining my target market on, I'm gaining my target audience based on those things. Just like, I'm working with a bunch of music artists now, and we don't just sit and talk about style. We talk about direction in all, avenues. Mm-hmm. So whether it's sound, that sound is gonna go visually one day. So we'll talk about the image, the sonics still will go visual one day. We'll talk about that as well. So it's not too much of a difference there cultivating, that target market, but I think no customer will accept anyone that isn't fluent. Now, if you're just starting music or you just started a new sound, cultivate that sound. And don't worry about time and don't worry if someone's gonna miss it. And that's for you to, you're in your, my great uncle used to tell me, you march to the beat of your own drum. Mm-hmm. And that goes as far as into your grown man and so on and so forth, whatever median you're in, march to the beat of your own drum, because if you don't, you'll be considering things that have no business being considered with your art, and you're the only one capable of making your art.
Well, that's what I'm kind of saying. I think if you're doing thing without influence, right, of like how my audience or what this particular audience might be looking for, then you start to like, you're beating it. You're kind of like playing somebody else's drum in it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's and I notice it becomes. I know this. Multiple artists I'm working with right now. It becomes tiring. They get with the labels. or they get with, you know, management or whatever the case may be, and they try to pull something out of them that isn't just them. And they're, you know, they're pulling on those things because the artists allow it though. Me personally, I mean, that's the equivalent to like selling your soul in that like aspect, no matter what you're gonna do it. Like I said, fashion and music, bro, we're so the same. We fluctuate, we go back to sounds and trends that we've already done. We do all these, you know, some of the like moving things that kind of like push the culture sonically and then visually. I met Dapper Dan, which is a perfect person for this conversation to match up, you know, visuals with your favorite rapper. That's exactly what that guy did, you know? And it got to the point where it was just like, yo, like, this guy just gave a life hack to all your favorite rappers. He gave them the visuals to match with everything that they were saying, and then he gave them more to say.
He's the first one to kind of like
Go into that,
into like a
like the double entendre situation.
Kind of like take a monochrome like of a Gucci and then turning it into like tailoring it to something else.
Yeah,
he was the first. He was like the first one to do stuff like that.
Yeah, he was. I feel like he was the first one to do something like that in that way. Me personally, I have no business I'm not taking anything Gucci, anything Louis. Like, I mean, I know that I did my senior paper on Gucci. Like, I've been a big fan of like really, really big fashion houses since I've even thought of fashion. Like, that was my first, you know, entry to it, to learn how they run. Me personally, it was cool for the time. I'm not a it's cool for the time person. I'm like, I want to span like over generations and so on and so forth. Like, so I was never really able to like stick to the whole collection thing. Like when the fashion week came around, like I'm not feeling doing another collection. Like, you know, I've done it and it feels okay, but I also like so much duality in my closet. I may not run through my whole collection of clothing from that line. You know, it just won't happen. Like I'm in a bigger place where I can see the bigger picture. And yeah, it may come back around again. The clock will keep winding, you know, but giving into it at that time and being only in that cusp, like he had to wait 30 years to come back in a situation, you know, in a corporate way. I mean, you know, now he's working with the house that I'm pretty sure he would do in any case from the beginning. But yeah, it's kind of like, it's very up and down and it's in and out. It fluctuates. So is this music. We're all a part of the same thing. I just don't get caught up in the trends.
I think as a stylist, would you consider yourself a stylist?
Yeah, amongst things, yeah.
Yeah, amongst many other things, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've always heard like just creating or starting a brand is like one of the hardest things to do. And then brands come and go. Like, I mean, I was reading, so my daughter, she wants to, you know, she's into like, oh, I want to start a brand. She's 21. And we were like, I did a little research with her while we were hanging out about Hellstar.
Right.
You heard of those, I was just like, you heard of those guys, but I never heard of them. I'm not in that lane of spending $250 for a t-shirt, you know? And, but it was interesting, you know, I was reading on them and they kind of like, just kind of, they didn't say they just started from nowhere, but they failed like a couple of times with different different t-shirt brands or different brands. And then this one actually like worked out for them during COVID,
right?
Which is crazy. Like during COVID, it was only like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I'm not gonna touch on brand to brand. I won't go head to head with that. It's like something that I don't do on the regular basis, and I won't condone it for like an interview situation. But I'll say this about just like brands in general, and just like, you know, I created a brand a long time ago. As far as I'm concerned now, it's been like a decade since I've like started that brand, and
everything I do now is under the umbrella of that brand. So I got less caught up in the trends and got more caught up inside of like the versatility of what like a brand could do. So, say we do speak about Hellstar. It's a run, that they're on far as, like you say, trend goes. For me, they did nothing for me, as far as move me in any way, design-wise. I'm not moved by it, based on just I see what came before it, and that didn't move me. The light flare on the sweatpants. You got your gallery departments. You got
There's so many.
you got your mirror. You got all the guys doing these, same thing, situation to situation. Either one's piggybacking off the other or one thinks they got there first. Meanwhile, it's like, I posted a really good post not too long ago, and it was called Tortoise in the Hair. And if you watch Tortoise in the Hair, the Bugs Bunny version, it kind of brung it full circle. Like, I legit, anyone that ever hears this, go back to Maxed Out page and look for the Tortoise the Hair post, because it gives a very, very, very clear vision of how it looks when brands get in cahoots after they think a brand is like going exceptionally far,
right,
and really, really, really fast. Like, and the turtle picks up the phone and he calls 30 different other turtles. They all look alike. You can't tell them you can't tell it apart. You're just sitting there watching. So you put one at the beginning, one at the middle, and one at the end. And Bugs is like, wait, what the fuck just happened? I thought I saw you at the beginning, now you're at the middle, and now you're at the end. It's like, I am not even in that race. Like, and you can't tell if I'm the tortoise or the hare.
Yeah.
So I feel like all those brands are legit sharing that world. Will they get off the cycle? No, they're probably getting paid. I don't, money to me isn't what money is to someone else.
Yeah.
When it comes to brands. So I really make it so seamless. Like, I love my brands, man. And I love the people. 9 times out of 10, I'm loving the person behind the brand that it isn't in the public's eye. I like the ghostwriter behind all the brands. And I'm probably more attracted to the designer than all the shit that they put out. Because I know it's for a general purpose. It has nothing to do with me. I may like that designer personally. And I've always met designers personally before I like come into like their realm of like design. It's like, I could care less about that. Like, you as a person, your ideas that you probably won't put out, or the shit that we're gonna have trouble putting out, I'm probably more attracted to that. 9 times out of 10, when I go into a store, I'm asking the person for things that I can't buy. I'm asking for the things that are stuck on the wall.
Oh yeah, like I've heard that before.
It's non-stop, man. So I know my buying is different, and I know the taste of my just things that I will rather own versus have for a certain amount of time. I'm not following a trend, and in life I'm not following a trend. So there's that.
All right. I think we're gonna stop here for right now.
Copy.
Because I have some other questions, but we'll say that maybe.
Okay. Yeah, he does it. Feels good every time. Feels like I'm almost walking into my house every time I come in here. That's actually my feeling every time I like come in and out of this spot. And I tell people a lot, when they ask, oh, are you the owner? No, I'm not the owner. But me and the owner are so synced, you would have thought. I appreciate a person that has like that cleanliness next to godliness, like feeling. And, John has that attention to detail that I actually see in myself. So that gravitates me towards him. Speaking of one of the best, he's going to walk in right now. Welcome home. Yeah, I was just kind of like giving him a background on our synchronicity so to speak. I was saying when I walk in here, I feel like I'm in a second home. This is basically like a closet of mine.
Feels like it.
Yeah.
Right on your head. Come here.
Got you, bro. You see that? You just don't find them like that.
What's up, everybody? I'm John. We're at Grand Street Local. Been here for a little over 5 years. We do like a blend from the 40s through the 90s, but we bring in what we call more killer and less filler, more selective curation. A lot of what we do goes right back into building this archive, this collection that we now essentially work with a lot of different brands, design teams, up-and-coming designers, stylists that kind of come through and are looking for essentially better options. And so more people that look for stronger vintage selections tend to essentially, I feel like, make their way into our location or find us online, Instagram, something like that. And for us, it's really more about the items than it is the price points. It's about having something special, something unique, something original, and that's what you can find here at Grand Street Local. Me and Malcolm probably met like 4 years ago or something at this point. And honestly, I think he just stumbled into the store. And he was one of those guys that came through originally and just had his own really cool individual style. And all like the pieces that he could put together and essentially blend through the decades was something that I was interested in doing, and kind of like what we were doing in here a little bit. And for us, it's, you know, it's trying to find the right guy or girl that can wear some of this stuff and not make it look like a costume or a uniform, but you know, throw something on and make you go, damn, that's fucking cool, you know. And I think just over the years, you know, we built like a good relationship, and our heads are kind of in the same place for a lot of things. And he's just been a good addition to have over here for a number of reasons. And